my former colleague Shri Manjunath Bhandari, as also Suresh Shetty ji, my colleague in the AICC communication, Javeer Shergill ji, who's been here holding the fort for AICC, as also Karnataka Congress for some time, and quite ably so. My colleague and national media coordinator, Shri Sanjeev Singh. Let me take this opportunity to once again welcome all the media friends. More so on a Sunday afternoon when the air condition doesn't work so well. In the run-up to 2014 general elections, Prime Minister Narendra Modi came to Mangalore, promised the moon. 4 years down the line, when he came back to Mangalore yesterday, he had zero to deliver on the promises that he made to Karnataka, including to this most important region of Karnataka. He did not speak about a single promise that he had made to Mangaloreans as also to Kannadigas, out of those that he has spoken about in the run-up to 2014 elections. Before I start what I have come here to say, all I will like to say that reflects the persona and the character of the person who is our Honorable Prime Minister. In fact, I and Javeer ji, a little while ago, put on my Twitter account, which sort of reflects the All India Congress Committee's point of view. This is two news cuttings. One of the latest manifesto released by Shri B.S. Yedurappa promising laptops, etc. And at the bottom is one more news cutting where the Prime Minister is reported to have said that election promises are meaningless. You should not take them seriously. The tragedy is that the Prime Minister's word, India's Prime Minister's word, has ceased to have gravitas. For he considers election promises which are sacrosanct as use and throw Jumla pops, because he's now become famous for those. There used to be an old saying, there was a slogan that BJP people chanted up in the run-up to 2014, Har Har Modi, Ghar Ghar Modi. I think from Karnataka up to the general elections of 29, it will be Bye Bye Modi, considering the manner and fashion in which he is acting. I bring to you certain stark facts which are hitherto not in public domain. So I come to you with a very, very specific and important issue, and that is backstabbing Karnataka is mission BJP. Congress ruled Karnataka in last 5 years has seen conspiratorial discrimination in allocation of developmental funds by Modi government. Cooperative federalism of Shri Narendra Modi has become coercive federalism. And why I say so, I want to highlight for you. The stepmotherly treatment and snatching the rightful due of Karnataka has become BJP's DNA in last 4 years of Modi government. First, they looted and plundered state's resources in the 35,000 crore illegal iron ore mining scam. 6 out of 9 of which cases Modi ji's puppet CBI is now seeking to close. After being voted out in 2013, they are now in last 4 years attempting to seize the right of all Kannadigas through the 15th Finance Commission by denying to Kannadigas and Karnataka their rightful due of 22,497 crore or 22,500 crores. Not to be outdone, the Modi Yedi Reddy gang, some of whom are Karnataka's most wanted, as Shri Rahul Gandhi yesterday reflected through a tweet and a video, are now making a surreptitious bid to usurp power through fair and foul means in Karnataka. The inherently proof of the lies or proof of the pudding lies in the eating. The inherently partisan attitude of Modi government in denying Karnataka, I want to bring out to you only in 7 important heads. Firstly, infrastructure. In India per se, when you look at the All India figure, the new project announcements by Indian companies are at a 13-year low under Modi regime. This is now 77,000 crore in December 2017 as per the last figure released. We want to ask the Prime Minister, as also Shri Yadurappa, his chief ministerial face, is it not correct that 46 of the central government projects in Karnataka, which you continue to speak about in public rallies, with an original cost of 78,727 crore, are now suffering incessant delay and cost overruns on account of a diabolical design to deny people of Karnataka their benefit. The cost of these projects have gone up from 72,000 crore to 96,951 crore. An increase of almost 23,000 crore. Ultimately, people are going to pay for it. And those people are you and me and 6.5 crore Kannadigas. Is it also not then correct that out of these 46 projects, 22 projects costing has gone up by 112%. This is Government of India data. And they are now languishing for 4 years. Isn't Modi government deliberately delaying central government run infrastructure projects in Karnataka to punish the people of Karnataka? And do such people deserve your vote and support is a simple question that we put. Number 2, failing Karnataka's farmers. Is it also not correct that when Karnataka's farmers and Karnataka government, when Karnataka reeled under drought, rightfully Karnataka government went to Government of India and to Prime Minister and sought assistance. During the 2016-17 Rabi season, and I am a farmer myself, so I speak with some authority on account thereof, 160 talukas in 30 districts of Karnataka faced extreme drought conditions. Shri Siddaramaiah and Congress government presented a fact-oriented petition for relief to Prime Minister to release the drought relief fund, which is not a bounty, to be conferred by PM, which is a fund which is collected from people's taxes so that states which are in peril can be helped at that time. So we asked for 3,310 crore, and Modi ji ended up giving us the lowest in India, that is a mere pittance of 795 crore. Ultimately, state government shelled out the money, but Government of India, when people of Karnataka and farmer of Karnataka needed it the most, abandoned Karnataka's farmers. And this is also disdain is also apparent from two more schemes. I'm not going to give you too much data. The Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana, which was 264 crore, Modi ji refused to give nearly 100 crore, releasing only 178 crore. First a pittance of 264 crore allocated, then you don't even release that amount despite Congress government asking. The National Food Security Mission, the Bhagya Yojanas of Congress government led by Shri Siddaramaiah has changed the face of the farmer, the poor and various sections in urban and rural areas. What is a bounden statutory duty to give the money? Modi ji has also denied. We asked for 146 crore, he only gave 96 crore, pocketing 50 crore of that also. And not to be outdone, even under the Rajiv Gandhi Panchayat Sashakti-karan Abhiyan, the allocation to Karnataka was reduced from 46 crore to just 6 crore. This shows a systematic discrimination with rural areas and the farming community on part of a Prime Minister who swears by farmers 3 times in one breath. And this is his track record vis-a-vis the state of Karnataka. Why should the farmers vote for you, Mr. Modi and Mr. Yediyurappa? That's the simple question. And the urban development is even a more scary story. Under the Jawaharlal Nehru Urban Renewal Mission, in 10 years, and some of those years, Congress was not in power. There was a BJP JDS government here. For urban renewal, the Union Congress government had given to Karnataka 6,570 crore. Bereft of the political partisanship, for us, people came first, parties mattered less. And the same Shri Narendra Modi, when he changed the name to Amrut, he has only given in 4 years 598 crore. That's 1100% less. You call Bangalore as the garbage city. You call urban development of Karnataka as having been eclipsed. But the responsibility and onus, the constitutional duty imposed upon you, Mr. Prime Minister, you abdicate when it comes to Karnataka cities. For you reduce the allocation for Karnataka from nearly 6,570 crore to under 600 crore, reducing it by 1100%. That is your character. So Karnataka has now, the government has now decided we will pump in 1 lakh crore more. That's the vision statement in the new manifesto. Neglecting education and health care of Kannadigas vis-a-vis the government of India is another point that I want to very quickly bring for your consideration. In 2014-15 and 15-16 and 17-18, number of aims were proposed. 4 in 2014-15, 6 in 15-16, 2 in 17-18. We asked for, the Congress government asked for aims not for itself but for people of Karnataka. In Horahalli in Ramnagar, if I am pronouncing it correctly, in Itagatti in Dharwad, and in Bijapur. The result is 0. Prime Minister refused to allocate a single hospital of the funds that Government of India collects from people of Karnataka to Karnataka.